Okay, kids, so here's what we have going. We are making some beef jerky, and you see I'm using a tri-tip steak, which is a nicely marbled cut, so it's got more fat. It won't preserve as long as a leaner beef jerky, like from a flank steak or a London broil, but a tri-tip is one of my very favorite cuts of beef for barbecuing. Okay, so you see how it has a graininess that goes this way, and that's one of the things you want in making jerky is a sinuous meat like this. And you can either cut it with the grain, which will give you a tougher jerky, or you can cut it across the grain, which will give you an easier to chew jerky. And I'm kind of going diagonal to the grain, so it'll be the best of both worlds. And over here we have our sauce that we're going to make, soak it in, and my sauce is a 1/4 cup of Kraken spiced rum or Captain Morgan's, any spiced rum. Then we have a 1/4 cup of dark molasses. Then we have a cup of Kikoman Soy Sauce. And then we have 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce, a 1/4 cup brown sugar, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, a 1/2 teaspoon of ginger powder, 1/2 teaspoon of sage powder, and we have a 1/4 teaspoon of curry powder, and then we have a teaspoon of Tabasco sauce, and we have a tablespoon of fresh ground pepper, and that is it for this. And then we just stir everything together and let it soak a bit while we are cutting our beef strips, jerky strips. And then what we're going to do is, so we'll let this soak at least for 6 hours, and then tonight I'll put it in the oven, and we'll hang it in the oven using toothpicks on the grill. We'll set the grill at high, and then hang these between the rungs of the grill with toothpicks, and we'll put a drip pan in the bottom of the oven just to catch any drip coming from it. And the oven will be at 175 overnight. So by tomorrow morning, we'll have some really good, tasty beef jerky. Okay, so I'm going to continue cutting this. I have 2 of these tri-tip steaks, almost the same size dimension, and I've just cut away. It's a very lean, there's not any extra fat on it. I just cut a little tiny bit away. And so we'll soak this for several hours, about 6 hours, and then we will put it in the oven. Okay, so until that time, I'm going to continue cutting. Then we will put one of these into a Ziplok bag with half of the sauce, and then we'll cut the other one and put that one in its own bag, and then we will let the sauce do its magic, soaking for 6 hours, and then we'll pull it out and hang it in the oven. Okay, so we will see you in a few hours. And that is what it looks like when you put your jerky cut meat into a Ziploc bag with half of the brine to soak in. So you just kind of get all the air, as much of it out of there as possible, mix it around, and then put her in the fridge. And then in a couple of hours, you're going to pull it out, rub it around a bit, circulate that brine, and put it back in the fridge. So do that 3 times every couple hours. Okay, now on to the next batch. Okay, there you go, little darlings. 2 packs of sliced tri-tip, 1/4 inch or less slices, soaking in a teriyaki brine for making beef jerky. So about 6 hours it goes in the oven, and then overnight it becomes jerky after several hours at 175 degrees. Okay, we'll see this deliciousness tomorrow. What? Okay, and there you go, kids. Into the oven we have all of our strips of jerky. It has soaked for 12 hours. We decided to soak it longer than originally planned. And you see how we have it. Toothpicks through one end and then hanging from the grill on top. And then we have the drip pan down below. And we are only going to be running it at 175 degrees. You can see the flame is on now. So there, you can count them out in there. So I think that should be just about enough for me to have a snack. Alright, so it is 1:47 right now, and it will be in the oven for probably till about noon tomorrow at 175. But we'll keep an eye on it and make sure that things are going according to plan. Remember, tri-tip has a higher fat content than, for instance, flank steak or London broil. And because of that marbling fat in there, it's going to have a nice taste, but you have to cook it a little bit longer. And then also, this is a little bit of a thicker cut because I like my bacon jerky thick and chewy is the way that I always order it when I go to the butcher shop and buy their stuff. Okay, so coming up in the next segment of the video, you will see the finished product and the taste testing. Yum. Alright, there you go. We have our jerky is ready to take out of the oven. It's been in there at 175 degrees for right about 10 hours. So we can get rid of the drip stuff here. Bring out the tray. Bring out the rack. And we're just going to let them fall on down. So this is looking really good. It tastes really good. And it looks like we're getting a pretty good batch here. As I say, I think it was a total of $56 for 2 tri-tip steaks. $9.99 a pound. Kind of pricey, but I guess that's the price of fun and flavor. Oops. So there you see how I hung these with toothpicks on the oven racks, and that worked out really well. Okay, now let me move these to the top of the stove here. Okay. And there you go. So you can see the fat on these is kind of shiny, but everything is all finished up. And try this little one here. Well, that's good. Okay, so I'm going to pull the toothpicks out of all of these and get it ready, and I'll show you when it's all packed up and ready to go into the fridge for storage, or just on the counter. It's dried meat, so okay, and so here you see we have a full bag, Ziplok 1 gallon bag of beef jerky, and it is so good. So you can see that it's a tri-tip, and so you can see some of the fat marbling in there, and yeah, it is really tasty. So the next time I'm going to try corned beef jerky. I was looking around on the YouTube, and there are several people that have done that, and I love corned beef, and people are saying how good it is. So that'll be the next experiment. Okay, so there you go. Beef jerky, easier than you think, and very tasty, very well worth the effort. Okay, see you on the next video. Don't forget to click like, leave any comments, ask any questions, and subscribe. Help out this channel to grow. Alright, see you on the next video.